Yo, welcome back to the Patrick Show. And before we begin the podcast, I just want to go ahead and let you know the atmosphere was a little different here as we decided to take it outside. And with that, we had a few difficulties with the wind and messing up the audio time to time. And unfortunately, we lost footage. So the first half of the podcast, you're going to be seeing it from Coach Sammy's perspective. So about the first 9 to 10 minutes. But go ahead and give it a full listen and make sure you stay and watch all the way to the big time question. With that being said, let's get to it. Peace. Yo, and welcome back to the 12th episode here on the Patrick Show. As you can see, we're outside, great warm weather here on February, right? February, so it's already spring weather, it's already here. And beside me is Coach Sammy. I'm not even going to tip to say your last name. Can you let the people know your last name?
Antonelli,
yeah, so it's a very interesting one. But I'm going to go ahead and give you the floor now. Tell the folks listening right now, just tell them a little bit about your coaching experience, where you've been along the way and along the journey, and
first off, thank you for having me on the podcast.
Yes, sir.
So I went to West Davidson, graduated in 2014 from West Davidson. 3-year starter on varsity there. Was fortunate enough and blessed enough to be able to play at a small college in South Carolina called Erskine College. They were played in the NCAA Division II level. I was even more fortunate to be able to continue my career after college and play a little bit semi-professionally and professionally as well. Most recently, I played for Cardinals FC, FC Cardinals out of Winston-Salem. They're a different club now. And then I've also played for Asheville City Soccer Club out in Nashville as well. So,
fantastic.
So that's been my playing career. My coaching career, believe it or not, I actually started when I was about 14.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I wasn't old enough yet to be able to coach my own team, right? But my father was a head coach through the local club. And my father watched me growing up playing. He never played himself, so he of course wanted me to help him out, just give him a few pointers here and there. And then from 14 years old, it just carried on.
Wow.
And I've been coaching for, like I said, 14, so about 12 years now.
Gotcha.
After local clubs, I was thankful enough to have a mentor, and his name is John Blake. He's the head coach at Ledford High School. He took me on to be the assistant coach there. And then from there, thankful enough, this opportunity arose here where I'm at now at Oak Grove, and now going strong here. This is my second year here at Oak Grove, and we're going strong, and I'm really looking forward to the future here.
Gotcha. And with that, we'll definitely hit note with the schools you've been a part of with West Davidson, including Ledford as well. But as always here on the show, we're going to go ahead and bow our heads for a short prayer. All right. Father God, I thank you for today. I thank you for yesterday. I thank you for the future that you withhold us today, Lord. I ask that we continue to look after you. We continue to watch you, Lord. I ask as we watch that we purify our heart, we purify our souls during this week, during this day, Lord. I ask that as we purify, Lord, that we continue to find ways to worship, honor, and glorify your name. In the Lord's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. And as always on the show, we start with the hot take. So we're going to put you on a hot, it's already hot outside as it is.
Right.
But we're going to keep you on a hot seat. So with that, I got to ask you, what should we be expecting for this year's soccer team?
For the men's
varsity, yes, sir.
Yeah, so the great thing about what we've had so far is a lot of upperclassmen, of upperclassmen leadership. We had this past season 11 seniors and 11 juniors on the varsity team.
Yep.
So we're gonna have those same 11 juniors step right into their place.
Absolutely.
Another great thing is we have 2 more juniors from the junior varsity team that they've excelled so much in the JV team that they are going to find their place on the varsity team as well.
Yes, sir.
So first thing you're gonna find is senior leadership. We're gonna have, like I said, 13 seniors.
Right.
So hopefully we'll be able to find our way, step right into the season. They're already up at the pace of play. They won't have to wait, get the acclimation period. And the great thing is, because of senior leadership, we have so many sophomores, so many freshmen that are coming up as well that are getting the great guidance. So biggest thing out of this next upcoming season that I'm hoping for is for that senior leadership to take the next step forward.
Absolutely.
We set a goal. My first year here. So far I've been here for 2 seasons. First year is to just get us acclimated to the new system.
Right.
The new system that I'm providing in. The second year was to make the playoffs. Well, the first year We met our goal. We acclimated to the new system. We had our ups and downs. We did. Second year, we made the playoffs.
Right.
So this year now, our goal is to make it past the first round playoffs into the second. I think with the senior leadership we have, it's going to be a fun year for us.
Awesome. I appreciate that. And you're cleared with the hot seat. And we're gonna keep fast forwarding with right now here with high school. And like you mentioned, you already hit the nail on the noggin with the 11. That was my first question with the seniors. You had 11 seniors graduate, but you already answered that. Having 11 juniors, they're already gonna be prepared for what's next, and that's great to hear. And I guess to follow up with that is I guess, when you looked at the season and the past season with your first season, it's been a steady incline as well as my basketball as well. So if you haven't seen that podcast, go ahead and check it out. But, we're starting to see the growth. You're starting to see growth and, going from 5 to 8 wins this season and hitting that first playoff berth. We'll definitely hit note with the playoffs. But I guess I want to follow up and ask, you're starting to see a couple bumps on the road. You see Asheboro, you see Lefford. Those are typically your top dogs in the conference. I guess what do you think is needed in order for your team to go over that bump?
Well, the great thing that you see with those Asheboros, those Ledfords, those teams like that is they have a coach there who's got their system in play, and first off has had the time to be able to implement the system, teach the kids what he wants, and then be able to go out and produce the results he wants on the pitch. Right. Now, being like I said, I think as I said, from 5 wins to 8 wins, and hopefully even more wins this season, you see over time those results will start building and building. Now, along with that, you have to have not just time, but that belief and that cohesiveness with the team and everybody together in order to want to be able to compete and get better each and every day in order to get to that level.
Gotcha.
One of the biggest things that I'm a big believer in is you have to play against the best to be the best.
Absolutely, I like that.
Yeah, you are never going to get at your highest level playing against mediocre competition or lower competition.
Right.
So what do you do? What do? I beef my schedule up so that way we have an understanding of what it's like to play against those teams. So that is the 2 biggest things for me is 1, just the time to be able to learn the kids, understand your personnel, and understand what their expectations for you and vice versa. And then 2, having that belief, that cohesiveness, that want to be together, and that want and will to want to compete and win. And I think it showed for us specifically the past 2 seasons. Last 2 seasons when we played Asheboro and Ledford combined, we gave up close to about 20 goals against them in 4 games, 20 or 25 goals. This past season we gave up only about 10 goals.
Wow.
So I think when they started understanding that we can play with them, I think it showed. And I think that's what it takes.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And then as of this season, with your 8 wins, a big piece of that was Aaron Disher. He was a big piece of that. And I guess to follow up is what key players should we be expecting from the senior class for the next season to come?
Well, the great thing about at least my system in general is that it doesn't just rely on the sole player. Of course, you want your players to have your individual moments, but I want my system to rely on the team. In saying that, you do have your key players. One of them being Aiden Doherty. He just came off a 14-goal season this past season, over 23 matches, and that's a great return. And as a junior, talking earlier about wanting those juniors next year being seniors to step up, I'm hoping he sets his goal, okay, I want to score 20 goals next season. I want to score 25. And I think with his ability, his mindset, and his just want to go and get goals and just get better each and every day, he has that ability to do that. So Aiden Doherty is a huge part of what we're going to be about next season.
Yes, sir.
Now, my next 3 is all going to be my 3 center mids from what I'm looking like right now.
Okay.
All 3 of my center mids, they're going to be seniors.
From
what I'm looking at right now. Demetrio Candela Habana, Griffin Reeder, and Aiden Fleming right now are the 3 that I'm looking at in the center.
Yes, sir.
And Griffin and Demetrio have had the pleasure of being able to play together for the past 2 seasons. Fleming has been able to find his niche recently, especially this past season.
Yes, sir.
Fleming was a great player, just an all-around utility player, somebody I could throw wherever. And I think Fleming is going to be the key for us next season, especially Fleming. I think he's found his niche as a defensive mid, and he is going to be the person that's going to hold it down for us in the middle on defense.
Gotcha. And then we keep talking about seniors, but obviously it's not just the seniors who play. So I was looking at, the the JV, the junior varsity, is doing a phenomenal job this past season as well. So I was looking at a couple names like Josh Vogel and a few others. But what are you expecting from those younger, the junior varsity, soon becoming varsity this season?
The big name, like you said, is Josh Vogel, and he's been highly touted ever since he was in 7th grade.
Yep.
I mean, everybody knows the guy. He's not just a great soccer player. He's a great athlete.
Absolutely.
Everything he does, he's just great at it. He's going to be a huge part of what we do on the defensive side and offensive side.
Right.
I mean, on JV, we deployed him mainly as a striker, but kind of like what we talked about Fleming earlier, he was a utility player whenever we needed him. Anytime we needed him to fill in a spot, he did. So he is somebody that we obviously are going to be looking at. One other guy that I'm really excited for to help fill in that midfield as well is Grayson Gazzara.
Grayson
Gazzara, yes. He, as a freshman coming in, he was small, and I sympathize with that. As a smaller player myself, growing up, I always kind of was on the smaller end of the spectrum. But his technical ability was very good, very, very good. And I'm really excited to look forward and seeing what he can do for us coming up in the midfield this season.
That's exciting. And, as I was looking at, we keep talking about the men's varsity, but and JV as well. But talk to us a little bit, because you're helping out with the girls this season as well. So, when I looked at their roster this past season, they only had 3 seniors. So, this year is definitely going to be a bigger, wide variety of seniors. What should we be expecting from the girls' side?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't say state title, right?
Yeah,
I wouldn't be doing that. And saying that, I mean, there's talent all around with these girls. I've been able to know them just over the past couple of weeks or so. I just came on to help. From what I've seen from these ladies, there's talent all around. We have close to about 5 or 6 seniors that have been really stepping up, especially in the absence of some of our underclassmen in the meantime while they're still playing their winter sports.
Yes, sir.
So I'm very excited to see what this women's program has to offer, especially this team right here. The main girl is Haley Long, and I think she has the potential to be the best player in this conference. I think she has the potential to win the conference player of the year this year.
Yes,
and I'm excited to see what she's bringing to us. The other 2 that I really see is twins Mally and Ella Blizzard.
Okay.
They are both great mainstays for us. They hold down the central for us very well. One of them plays center mid, one of them plays center back. They both hold it down for us very well. Another one that I see, her name is Ash. So technically sound.
Yep.
So I think what you'll really find out of the women's team this year is our midfield is going to be one of the top midfields in the conference, if not the state.
Yep.
And once again, we have a legitimate shot at pushing deep into the playoffs. I think so. I genuinely believe so. And I think we have a true shot at winning the conference as well.
Yep, that's some big words right there. I'm extremely excited to see what the girls program has in store for us. And we're going to keep rolling on, and we're going to transition to college. And as you were saying, you've played some college ball. So I guess I want to hear some advice you will give for myself and people listening. How is that transition from that high school to college, and what can we do in order to become more prepared and better for it?
Get advice from everybody you can possibly find. And I know that sounds as cliche as it is, but it is as true as it comes. You never know what a person can give you for your advice.
Yes,
you
sir.
never know. For me, I had to recruit myself. I didn't have the luxury of being able to have a crew or a recruiting organization to recruit for me.
Yes,
so
sir.
I had to do everything myself. What I learned is that simple emails to coaches gets you on their radar. So if you are looking to play in the college level, send an email out to the coach yourself, letting them know of your interest.
That's great.
Especially if you're not the D1 talent. And if you're not the D1 talent, that's perfectly fine. From what I've seen in soccer, you have some junior colleges that can compete with Division I schools.
That's exactly right.
And it's not just like that. Baseball is another great sport that's like that as well. So if you're not a D1 talent, that's perfectly fine. I think it's all about making sure you know your role, you know where you want to go, and once again, just taking advice wherever you can.
Yes, sir.
As a player, I not only took advice from my soccer coaches, but I talked to basketball coaches. Because what you find in soccer and basketball is you'll have formation of triangles, and they all kind of correlate very similarly.
Okay.
So find other outside sources outside of your sport as well to find the advice from as well. Now, my last single advice: never ever judge a book by its cover. You never ever know who you're gonna come up talking to, who you're talking with, what kind of advice they'll give you.
Yes, sir.
I've talking to a national championship winning coach one time, and I had no idea who he was at the time.
Oh,
you know, I was just talking, and he just came up. He saw me wearing a soccer shirt, and he just came up and just talking to me about soccer. And you know, I could tell he knew what he was talking about. And then after the owner of the business I was in, I was at a restaurant. He came over and he was like, "You know who that is, right?" And I got to talking, and it turns out he was a national championship winning coach. And I was like, "Wow, I would have never known this." So two biggest things, just to wrap that up, is always take advice wherever you can get it, and then two, just never judge a book by its cover. Those are my two biggest things.
That's great. That's great. You know, I love those advice. I never heard that analogy or that comparison from basketball to soccer as well. And with that, we're gonna roll on to the big time question. All right, you ready to roll with the big time question?
Yes, sir.
All right. So the big time question is, I want to know what we talked about. The girls what to expect, and we talked about the boys what to expect. But what I failed to mention to the viewers here listening was of why I had decided to bring them. You know, usually I've been sticking with basketball and football programs, but I said I want to expand out. I want to get more athletes, and I said soccer is neglected here in America, and obviously specifically here in Davidson County as well. And I want you to give us a reasoning why soccer not only shouldn't be neglected, but why it is neglected here.
Whew, how much time do you got?
Yeah.
So I'll start with the first part of the question, why it shouldn't. One, it's the world's game.
Right, absolutely.
Everybody in the world plays the game, and not to mention, it is the cheapest game to play.
It is.
All you need is a ball. You can even pop up a balloon and play with a balloon if you really wanted to, right? But that's all you need is just a ball. And you can go out and play anywhere. That's all you need. So, I mean, first and foremost, that's why it shouldn't be neglected. One, it's so easy to play, and it's so easy to get into the game. It's the first time you hit a true shot, the first time you hit a great pass, it's addicting. It's a rush. It's like the first time you hit your first three-pointer, first time you make your first touch. It's the same concept, right? The difference is that it's just so easy to get involved in the game. It's so easy. So that, I mean, that's why it shouldn't be neglected. Another reason too, it's just another outlet for not just kids but adults as well, to be able to go out. I mean, just first and foremost, get some exercise, enjoy themselves. But from what I found, especially for me, it's a way that me and my friends get together and have some fun.
Absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
that's what we do. We go out. We'll go out to the soccer field, and I mean, now we're getting to the point where we're getting old, not in shape. We can't run like we used to, right? But it's what we do. So that's why it should be neglected, because it's just so easy to pick it up and go out and play. Now, why is it neglected? Like I said, where do you start? I think first and foremost, it starts with the infrastructure. Europe and America just have two totally different systems. Right. And I think there's no right or wrong system personally. I think there's pros and cons to both systems. But they're both inherently different. In England, specifically in England, you have the club academies, Chelsea, Arsenal, Manchester City, Manchester United. They have schools in their academies. So the kids will go to school at the academy, and then after they'll go into training and they'll go into soccer, and then from there, that's how kind of it is built up. And then not to mention at the organization level, you also have what's called promotion and relegation. What that means is the top teams in Division 2 will move up, and the bottom teams in Division 1 will move down. So you have that extra incentive to want to play. In America, you don't have that. You don't have that. And that's, like I said, that's perfectly fine if you don't have that. But I think that goes back to what I'm saying. So the structure there has all built up into promotion relegation. The structure here is all making sure the clubs can keep their money funded enough to be able to you know, operate their business. Yes, sir. And once again, pros and cons to everything. Now, what you have though is you have what's called pay to play, and I know for anybody that's a soccer fan, you've heard this forever: pay to play. What that means is you have to pay in order to play at the higher level. And most people, and I agree with this, see that as a big hindrance in what is not caused America to be able to really grow soccer. And then really the last thing as well is the infrastructure has already been built for basketball and football. Right, it has been. So, and that's why basketball and football, in America specifically, are the top sports. I think in America, we're still trying to find our way with the infrastructure. Like I said, we've created something totally different than what's different in Europe. Europe has already had something in place. We created something totally different, and it's perfectly fine. But I think we're still trying to find. I think we're still trying to not find, but smooth out the cons. Exactly. Find the niche and what they want to do. And I think once they find the niche, I think what you'll really see, and when you're starting to see it now in our national team, is you're really going to start seeing a youth explosion. And like I said, you're starting to see it right now.
Yep. And you hit the nail on the noggin with everything right there. And, you know, what most people don't know about me is I'm a huge soccer fan myself, and honestly, if it wasn't because of football in the fall, I would be playing soccer. I wish we had soccer in the spring season, but you know you can't make your way through that. But I loved your answer with the big time question, and with that, I guess I'm gonna give you the floor once again if you want to add any more advice, comments, or before we go ahead and wrap it up.
As you could probably tell, I'm a young coach. There is so much to learn. So much to learn. And I've had the opportunity of having great mentors.
Yes, sir.
Great mentors wherever I have. My biggest thing, always ask questions. Because you never know where it could lead you. You never know where it could lead you. If I didn't ask a question about this school, I don't think I'd be here right now in the spot I am. It took me asking the athletic director here just about the school, and I got my foot in the door. Once I got my foot in the door, well, once again, I was thankful and blessed enough to be able to earn the spot I have now. Always ask the question because you never know where it could lead you. And I'm hoping, I have big goals. At the end of the day, I think everybody wants to make it to the professional level, whether it's a player, whether it's a coach. And that's my aspiration as well. And like I said, the biggest thing that's opened doors for me being this young is just asking questions and being consistent with it.
Sir.
And that's the biggest advice I can give. Ask those questions, find your way, and make those connections. And it goes back to the saying, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know sometimes, right? And sometimes who you know can get you a long way.
Yep, I appreciate that, and you know, I hope everybody listening, you know, you take note of that because there was a lot learning with that this podcast for sure. And as always on the show, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And as you see the merch, he decided to wear the merch as well with me. We're matching today, so go ahead and check out the merch. You know, if you liking what you see, go ahead and purchase or hit me up or through the comments or whatnot. But with that being said, as always, we'll just say peace at the end. All right, you ready? 3, 2, 1, peace. Alright, welcome back, and thank you for watching all the way to the end of the video. And if you've done so, go ahead and comment 150. Comment 150 right now here on the YouTube comments, and you're going to have a great chance of winning this fabulous t-shirt. So thank you for always going through and watching all the way through the video. And all you need to do right now is comment 150. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you for watching. Peace.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.